Okay, hi, it's Jordan again, and we're talking examples, and we're going to take a closer look at objectives. So I've got Lisa here with me. Lisa, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Schufro and I'm the Chief Storytelling Officer of WhatMatters.com.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at an example of an organization and then take what we know about that organization and try to come up with a great example of a possible objective. So we're going to pretend today that we work with a nonprofit organization that delivers services to veterans in the community. And there are a lot of priorities in this organization and they all seem important. But that's the deal with OKRs. They help us decide what matters most. And so we're going to take a look at the problem, which is that the community feels like the services aren't being delivered fast enough, and try to drill down on some objectives that can help us solve that issue. That's obviously a big problem if our mission is to take care of those that served our country. So, when thinking about potential objectives, the first thing that comes to mind is probably speed up the delivery of the services.
That's a very natural thing, is to take customer feedback, particularly if you're seeing a lot of it. And what I like about this objective is it's very focused on the end user. It's very focused on the people that they're trying to serve. But you know that famous saying about Henry Ford, where if you ask the customer what they want a faster horse. Sometimes it actually is a clarifying thing if you're a little less specific and take a step back and say, well, what would speeding up our services be representing in terms of our mission?
That's also, I think what you're saying, Lisa, is that's from their perspective, what's going wrong. But if we take a look internally at our own organization, that might actually be a symptom of another problem. So as we're taking a look at potential objectives, I think speeding up delivery, that's a good one to start with, but maybe we can keep digging deeper to figure out if there's something that we can address that's at the core of an issue that will really alleviate what we're being told by the community is not working for them.
And I think it's important to clarify that what we're talking about is sort of a company-wide level objective. At the highest level, why does this problem exist, or why is this problem important to our organization? And so speeding up delivery is all part of kind of a set of services that are designed to help veterans in a certain way.
Okay, so maybe if speed has the potential to be a symptom and not the actual problem itself, we can kind of take a step back a little bit and let's throw out another objective, which maybe what we want to do is just we want to actually increase the quality of the services that we're delivering.
I really like that. I think that what's good about putting speed of delivery within the context of quality of services is that it might occur to the team that there are other things that go along with speed that make their service really wonderful, because quality of an experience for the user is the actual objective, and speed might be a key result.
And speaking of that, I actually want to see if we can drill down on this objective a little bit more and make it even simpler, make it more impactful, and even maybe kind of broaden it a little bit to see just how good we can get it. So I was thinking of one more improvement to this, which would be to deliver an exceptional experience to our veterans. What do you think about that?
Oh, there's two things that I think are very much in the spirit of the Measure What Matters book. One of which is, when you're thinking about delivering an exceptional experience, it's going to cause you to rethink your service. That's where the innovation is going to come from. That is the chance to stretch, right? And so I think it has this poetic and motivational, because who doesn't want to serve veterans, right? And so when you do that, it reminds everyone on your team, look, this is our mission, is to provide an exceptional service, and that flows throughout the whole organization, and it gives us permission to think about big things that are outside of our purview.
Okay, so now we have 3 different objectives, and they may work depending on what level of the organization you're in or what your role is. But let's look at them in the context of the descriptors that Ryan uses when talking about objectives, which is, are they significant? Are they concrete? Are they action-oriented? And are they inspirational?
Sure.
So in terms of concrete, it feels like speeding up delivery, that's a pretty concrete objective to have.
Yes, and you could stay that specific because it says we're choosing speed over some other quality like cheapest, for example, or most widely available. So speed becomes the priority for this period of time. If you want to add other qualities, you might say we want to be the fastest of this kind of service in the industry.
It's also pretty action-oriented as well because it tells you exactly what you need to do in order to improve.
Yes, if you're in marketing, if you're in customer service, if you're in service, if you're providing services or supplies, these are all, or you're doing the technical work, all of those are areas that it should be clear, where can we make significant gains?
And speaking of significant, we want to ask ourselves if our objectives are significant. For me, number 2 is significant in the sense that we want to improve the quality. It actually kind of sort of takes number 1 and takes it up a notch to make it more significant so that there's more power in what we're saying and in how we're delivering our services.
Yeah, and that's the level at which we talk about the Henry Ford example, right? This may be what we're hearing from the community, but the underlying need is what's a better way to get them from point A to point B.
And then finally, we want to ask ourselves if our objectives are inspirational. And for me, I think number 3 is probably the most inspirational in the sense that we want to deliver exceptional service. That's one of those things where when we talk about a rallying cry, an objective being a rallying cry, that's something that no matter which department you're from, no matter what job you have, no matter what level of the organization you're at, you can really figure out how to innovate within your team and within your role to deliver exceptional service.
Yeah, I think that inspirational quality, again, is very important because it's very easy to get lost in your day-to-day activities, that I have to make this many calls or I have to process this or get through this much code. But to remind yourself that for the next 90 days, we're really trying to create exceptional experience. It reminds you that there's a chance here to think differently about what you do every day and why it matters. Speeding up how services are delivered, again, it's specific. Maybe an engineer will get really excited about that because they love the fastest, and that's a perfectly okay objective. But if you aren't reminding yourself that in the end it's about a veteran being supported in the way that's the best we can offer, it may lose some of its sheen after some time.
Okay, so we've come up with a couple of different versions of an objective, and depending on what exactly it is that we want to change right now, might lead us to one over the other. But our work isn't done just by choosing one objective. So Lisa, where do we go from here?
Well, I think the main thing is to come up with your set of objectives. It might be that because of, everything that's going on in your business and the amount of uncertainty, you might want to focus on just one. You might want to focus on a couple, though. So think of your objectives as a set. These 3 things are the most important to do in this next cycle. Not the only things we'll ever do, but the most important ways to break our mission down into achievable steps in the next 90 days, let's say. So think about your set. Think about whether you can phrase them in the most succinct, poetic, high-impact way. Can people on your team kind of say, I know what I would do with that? That's a great test. And then next we'll move on to key results.
And luckily, the rest of this section is about improving objectives. So don't worry too much if your objectives feel a little messy or they aren't exactly narrowed down into the spot that you want them to be, and they're not poetic and they could be more succinct. That's okay. We're going to give you some tools to help you understand how to make those objectives the best that they can be. The most important part is that right now we have a list of ones that we can choose from, and we've identified which are the ones that are most important. What is the change that we want to see in our organization?
Enjoy the discussion.